Folktale from Gujarat. A barber finds luck. Sevaram was a poor barber, poor because he could not earn enough money to maintain his household. One day, what he brought home would be sufficient to buy rice, dal, and vegetables, while the next day he would have earned very little, with which his wife could buy only rice. Those days she called him stupid, useless, and names which only described the state of affairs. Shivani often recalled her life before her marriage. She then had enough food to eat and drink, and pretty clothes to wear. One evening, Sevaram came home nearly empty handed. He had to suffer Shivani's nagging till he lay down to sleep. But sleep eluded him for a long time. Only after he took a decision as to what he would do the next day did he get a few winks of sleep. He got up early, went for his bath, picked up his bag containing combs, scissors, razors, and hair oils, and walked out of his house. I shall come back after I have made enough money, he called out to his wife, who stood at the doorstep wondering what her husband meant by his announcement. She did not call him back. Shivani was aware that there were not many rich people in their village who could afford a daily shave or a frequent haircut and who could pay the lone village barber a decent fee for his service. The villagers generally were poor people and they paid him what they could spare. Often they only made promises to pay on his next visit. So much so, Sevaram remained a poor barber. He trudged long distances after leaving his village. He took rest beneath shaded trees, hoping some wayfarer would stop by on seeing his bag and would ask for a quick haircut or shave before he reached the town. Unfortunately, none came his way. When night came, Sevaram stretched himself under a tall tree to give rest to his weary limbs. He fell asleep immediately. The tree was the home of a ghost. He heard Sevaram's loud snore and came down, expecting to find a good meal. He thought he would scare him first and then catch him. His loud noises were not enough to wake up the sleeping figure. He then shook him by his shoulders. When he found the man slowly opening his eyes, the ghost twisted and contoured his face to look horrid. "I am glad to eat you, man." He gave out a shriek as his hands closed in around his throat. Sevaram was so tired after his long walk that he did not care how he died. If he was fated to be eaten by a ghost, he was willing to face his end that way. But he suddenly remembered his wife. How would Shivani look after herself when he was dead and gone? The thought bothered him. He should live at least for her sake. Suddenly, he had a brainwave. "Don't be silly." He waved his hand to suggest that the ghost should better vanish. But he did not move away. "Do you want to see the ghost I caught last?" Sevaram opened the bag on which he had rested his head and pulled out the hand mirror he always carried. "Look at this." He then held it out to him. "There are more lying in my bag." The ghost was startled as he saw a hideous face in the mirror. "You!" he let out a screech with fright. "Don't put me in your bag with that horrible creature," the ghost pleaded with folded hands. The barber, who still had the mirror in his hands, said, "I won't, but only if you bring me precious stones when you come back here before dawn." Sevaram sounded stern. The next moment, the ghost vanished. The barber put back the mirror in his bag and settled down to wait. He was a little surprised when, eerie long, the ghost came back with a bundle. He placed in front of Sevaram and opened it to reveal a few glittering stones. "All right, I am now freeing you. I shall go to the town now and come back here in the evening," said Sevaram, who started walking towards the town. He wanted to sell away the precious stones and collect some money. What would he do with them if he were to take them to his village? At the same time, he did not want to part with all of them. So, instead of a jeweler, he searched in the town for a pawnbroker. He told him he could keep the precious stones for a month when he would come back and claim them. The pawnbroker examined the stones and found them genuine and handed a decent amount to Sevaram. Before he went away, he asked the pawnbroker where he could get a square meal. By now, he was really feeling hungry, and when he found an eating place, he ate heartily. He found the deserted veranda of a house where he stretched himself. By evening, he felt refreshed and traced his way back to the tree, which indirectly had yielded some precious stones. By now, it was quite dark. He laid down, resting his head again on his back. He did not sleep, hoping that the ghost on the tree might come down on seeing him. Meanwhile, the ghost on the tree had called in his companion on a tree nearby and had told him what happened the previous night. They planned to retrieve the precious stones and to steal the mirror that hid scary creatures like themselves. When it was nearing midnight, the two ghosts slowly came down and began examining Sevaram to find out whether he was asleep and whether they could take away the bag without waking him up. Sevaram was only pretending to be asleep and was quite alert. He allowed them to drag his bag a little and then jumped up. In a quick move, he opened the bag and pulled out the mirror and the scissors. He held the scissors in one hand and the mirror on the other. The two pointed blades were aimed at the two ghosts. While he went on making snipping sounds, he turned the mirror towards them. Whether the ghosts were afraid more of the scissors or of the mirror was uncertain, but the swift movements he made with his hands were enough to scare them. They were about to climb back the tree when Sevaram shouted, "Don't move till you listen to me. Today, one of you will go and fetch me gold coins. You should come back before dawn. If you fail to turn up, you can be sure your companion will be keeping company with the other nasty creatures in my bag." It was ghost number 2 who now began to run. Sevaram laughed behind him, but continued his war dance, holding the scissors and the mirror in his hands. Ghost number 1 was now at his wit's end. He was hoping that his companion would turn up long before dawn so they could go back to the tree. Ghost number 2 came back just before daybreak. That day, Sevaram was not at all surprised when the ghost opened a bundle to reveal gold coins. Sevaram quickly put them inside his bag. Holding his weapons still in his hands, he told them, "It's already dawn and I'll be moving away now. I shall come back again in the evening, and if you both behave well, I shall let out the hideous creatures in my bag. So wait for me by night." He put back the mirror and the pair of scissors in his bag and started moving. It was already dawn, and the ghost realized that they could not expose themselves to daylight. Today, Sevaram did not go to town, but headed towards his village. Shivani was taken by surprise as she had expected him to keep away for several days. The next few moments were taken by Sevaram to describe his experience of 2 days. Shivani was spellbound. When she got back her breath, she remarked, "You are the bravest and cleverest man in the world." "Those are words I have been waiting to hear for long," said Sevaram, who was no more a poor barber.
Dhanyavad. Thank you. If you like this video, do like, subscribe and share. See you in the next one. Bye bye.